Good evening, everyone. Well, actually, it would be really good morning considering that it's 34 minutes past midnight. But hello, everyone. This is Nicole Johnson-Starr with the PTSD Retreat. I promised that before the end of this weekend, I would put out the list of resources that I had mentioned a week and a half ago when doing the last Two Wackos and Key Lime Pie show with Kevin Lake. In response to that request that was given, I am now using this time to give you guys a list of resources that you can find both on Facebook, on the website, on websites, and elsewhere. So let me go ahead and get started because, like I said, there are many different resources. And one of the ones I'm going to start with is Save a Warrior, which is also the Warrior Meditation Project. You can actually find them at saveawarrior.org. That is Sierra Alpha Victor Echo Alpha Whiskey Alpha Romeo Romeo India Oscar Romeo.org. Again, that's saveawarrior.org. You can also go to vetsforwarriors.com if you need to talk to somebody or want confidential assistance. They also have a phone number that is 1-800-VET-TALK or 1-800-838-8255. And again, that website is vetsforwarriors.com. Phonetically, it's Victor, Echo, Tango, Sierra, the number 4, Whiskey Alpha Romeo Romeo India Oscar Romeo Sierra.com. Again, that's vetsforwarriors.com. There's also, for veteran suicide prevention, veteranscrisisline.net. They also have a phone number. It also happens to be the same phone number as the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, which is 800-273-TALK or 800-273-8255. You can also text them at 838-255. Again, that's texting is 838-255. The veteranscrisisline.net phonetically is Victor Echo, Tango Echo, Romeo Alpha November, Sierra Charlie Romeo India, Sierra India, Sierra Lima India November Echo.net. I happen to know the owner, and he is a personal friend of mine. This organization, the Warrior Meditation Project, is an amazing project, and they are putting their money where their mouth is, and there are other organizations that I won't comment on, but needless to say, there are organizations out there that are quite huge that have their name on food products asking you to give them money, but as yet we have not seen where that money is all going. Unlike the Warrior Meditation Project, where every single dime is going towards soldiers, and they are located in Malibu, California. They recently started doing their retreats and have had phenomenal success with the male cohorts that have been put out there. And I fully trust this organization. They're using Transcendental Meditation as their main modality, and they're fully supported by the David Lynch Foundation. And this is run by a veteran for veterans. Again, that organization is the Warrior Meditation Project. And if you have any questions, you can contact them directly. They also do have a Facebook page, and it's Warrior Meditation Project. Another great resource that you can go to online is just a second. The Pro Bono Counseling Project. This is an excellent resource where you can actually get counseling for free. They link families, individuals, and couples with licensed and insured mental health professionals throughout Maryland, and I've been doing this since 1991. And it is something that is pro bono for military and their families. They actually, work with the Veterans Administration or the VA. They also work with the Maryland Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, other nonprofit organizations, and they work particularly with those in the National Guard and Reserves, and have been doing so since 2001. You can actually reach them, again, that's at probonocounseling.org, phonetically spelled. That is Papa Romeo Oscar Bravo Oscar November Oscar Charlie Oscar Uniform November Sierra Echo Lima India November Golf.org. I do believe they also have a phone number. Hold on a second, I'm going to pull that up. Yep, their phone number, if you want to contact them directly, is 410-825-1001. Again, that is 410-825-1001. Or you can call them toll free at 877-323-5800. Again, that telephone number is 877-323-5800. And they have received from Maryland nonprofits the stamp for Standards of Excellence. So definitely somebody that you can trust to know what they're doing. Again, but no matter what counseling organization you go to, please always ask them if they are trained and have experience in dealing with trauma or combat-related PTSD. Many individuals may have the training, but it's many years ago, or they never used their training, and so it's or they don't even have it. So it's always best to ask questions. Remember, you're paying them, and they are there for you to assist you. And this is your health, mentally and physically, that you are caring for, so you deserve to get the best treatment possible. So always ask questions. And by the way, if you haven't got your pen and paper, remember you can always go back and hit play again, because the cool thing about this being internet radio, it's saved for you, so you can actually go back. We will be moving all of this over to the website, and if you'd like to know about upcoming shows, I will ask you to go to our website, theptsdretreat.org, phonetically spelled. That's Tango, Hotel, Echo, Papa, Tango, Sierra, Delta, Romeo, Echo, Tango, Romeo, Echo, Alpha, Tango.org, theptsdretreat.org, and you can sign up by sending us your information through the contact page to let us know you're interested in knowing what shows are coming up. So, or just to give us feedback or ask questions. Okay, so another resource that you can go to is Vets for Warriors. I mentioned that before, but I did mention that before, so I will skip that because I've already been there. Vet centers. You can go to vet centers anywhere around the U.S. They are not the VA. These are separate from the VA. Now let me tell you what the difference between the VA and vet centers are. The VA, things can be passed up through the military. The vet centers, you can give them an anonymous name. There's no one that's keeping track of anything. It's a nice place to go. And they have been assisting with individuals, from Iraq, Afghanistan, and elsewhere. And most of the individuals working there are veterans themselves. They offer the following service to help veterans. That's individual and group counseling for veterans and their families. And by the way, this stuff is not out of pocket. All of this is free to you. So they also have family counseling for military-related issues, bereavement counseling for families who experience death of a loved one serving on active duty, and yes, that does include suicide, military sexual trauma counseling and referrals, outreach and education at military and community events such as post-deployment health reassessments or PDHA, and veteran musters. They also provide substance abuse assessment and referral, employment assessment and referral, and yes, they do have job boards. You can actually go to them, and they will help you write your resume. Employment assessment and referral, Benefit explanation and referral. Now, this is not just your medical benefits, but it also covers your educational benefits, getting a house, and being buried in one of the national cemeteries, etc. They also help with screening and referral for medical and psychological issues, including TBI or traumatic brain injury, depression, and other psychological health concerns. And yes, this does include post-traumatic stress. So this is a wonderful, wonderful resource. And it is free for the lifetime of the veteran. I don't know if you're aware, but the VA does have a limit on their services if you're not a retiree, and that's 5 years immediately following your departure from active duty service or return from deployment, unless you have an LOD or a medical entry in your records. And then in that case, they'll actually cover those things found and served while in the military. So if you gained an injury while in the military, you'll have that treatment for life. But if it's outside of what's in your medical records, the VA will not serve that. You will have to pay for that after a certain amount of time. So just be aware of that. Unlike the Vet Center, which does provide its services throughout the lifetime of the veteran. And it is not just for the veterans. It's also for your family members. Unlike the PTSD retreat, though, they only recognize marriage relations or blood relations. You also deserve to know that veterans are not required to enroll with a VA medical center for medical treatment in order to access the Vet Center's services. So you do not have to be enrolled with the VA to use a Vet Center. It is separate. Basically, if you are a family member served in the combat zone and you received a military campaign ribbon, then you are eligible for Vet Center services for your lifetime. So that is another great resource. You can actually go to realwarriors.net to learn more about our vet centers. Again, that is realwarriors.net. Phonetically, it is Romeo, Echo, Alpha, Lima, Whiskey, Alpha, Romeo, Romeo, India, Oscar, Romeo, Sierra.net. So they'll actually be able to give you more information about their vet centers through that website. And just when you go there, you can actually it'll give you actually information about a lot of different things, to include podcasts. There's videos about real stories of individuals that have been serving. Just all sorts of things. They've also got access to the military crisis line. They've also brought up one of the other resources I was going to bring up, which is afterdeployment.org. This is another great resource for your pocket as a military veteran. Afterdeployment.org has a lot of different resources. Now, I happen to love afterdeployment.org because they do their best to find something close to you. They also talk about trauma directly. And they have there's a lot of resources on this page. So it's an excellent one-stop shop for post-traumatic stress, depression, anger, alcohol and drugs, physical injury, mild TBD, about stigma, spirituality. I mean, it goes on. And it's not just veterans. It also helps you with veterans with families and kids. So definitely check out afterdeployment.org. Phonetically, that is Alpha, Foxtrot, Tango, Echo, Romeo, Delta, Echo, Papa, Lima, Oscar, Yankee, Mike, Echo, November, Tango.org. So a great resource. I personally happen to love that a lot. Another one is called The Refuge, a healing place. Now, this is a treatment facility, and they believe that a person cannot achieve true sobriety until their trauma is resolved. So, unlike the VA where you have to go to the SARP first, these individuals will actually work with you in your space on whatever works for you. They are an NAADAC approved education provider, and and they're fantastic. I'll just put it that way. Their mission is to meet the needs of their clients by providing the highest level of quality treatment. They are a person-centered care facility that is a driving force behind treatment planning and delivery of those services. They encourage each client to explore his or her strengths, needs, abilities, and preferences in order to heal and recover from substance abuse, trauma, process addictions, and other disorders. And they do have an outpatient services. So it's not just inpatient. They do also have outpatient. And if I recall, yes, those guys are actually, they do have a toll-free number. You can call their toll-free number at 866-473-3843. Again, that's 866-473-3843. Their website is phonetically Tango Hotel Echo Romeo Echo Foxtrot Uniform Golf Echo dash as in hyphen Alpha Hotel Echo Alpha Lima India November Golf Papa Lima Alpha Charlie Echo.com. So an excellent resource that you can actually go to. Now, just so you guys know, when I say these are resources that you can use, the PTSD retreat is not getting any kickbacks from these organizations. So please be aware that this is just something that we've checked out, and these are things that we've found to be wonderful resources for our veterans and family members. And by the way, the refuge is actually located in Ocala, Florida, and they do have scholarships that they are willing to offer for veterans. And this is not a place that you can actually take your family. It is strictly for the veteran, but it is a great healing facility. So please check them out. If you're local to Ocala, Florida, or Ocala, Florida, you can actually call them locally at 352-288-3333. Again, that is 352-288-3333. Or you can reach them at 352-624-0366. Again, that number is 352-624-0366. Another one is the Circle Tree Ranch. This one is a residential program as well at Amity Circle Tree Ranch. They have a culture of non-violence, and they believe in using peace to create a safe environment. And they commit to higher goals and to understanding and articulating feelings and emotions in order to respond to trauma versus react. This is an organization a little out there, but they do accept parents with children. So this is a residential substance abuse and trauma center. It's located in Tucson, Arizona, and they do allow parents to bring their children. So this is why I like this one, because it's not like a lot of organizations out there which only work with the individual. This one does allow your kids to come with you, which means they're treating not just you but also the family. And this is important because there's a lot of single parents nowadays in the military. Their toll-free number is 800-381-3318. Again, that telephone number is 800-381-3318. Excuse me. And their website is phonetically spelled Charlie, India, Romeo, Charlie, Lima, Echo, Tango, Romeo, Echo, Echo, Romeo, Alpha, November, Charlie, Hotel.org. That's circletreeranch.org. And I like them because they do allow parents to bring children. Another one that I've actually referred individuals to is the Brookhaven Retreat. It is strictly for women. This is not, children don't get to come here, and it is a residential treatment. But it does offer comprehensive recovery for females. And they are accredited by the Joint Commission on Accreditation for Health Organizations and licensed by the state of Tennessee. Brookhaven is a wonderful, I keep using that word, but I mean it. This is a wonderful location for women to go and receive it's a retreat. And you're walking into a retreat, and it's just walking onto the property, you're going to immediately begin to feel relaxed and rejuvenated. And they do have aftercare and family resources, which is another reason why I like them, because once you finish your residential care, they do have weekly aftercare in a telephone call. They have a website for those who have been there. They do a follow-up interview. And they do have a reunion for individuals that have stayed there. And anyone that's gone through a treatment facility or has done a group-oriented healing or retreat knows that staying in contact with fellow attendees is very nice. It's nice, and it's actually important to have that continuous support. But you can reach them 24/7. They do have it's very confidential. I will let you know that it is a private pay. It is cost out of pocket, and these costs are your responsibility. But they are available 24/7. You can call them at 877-817-3422. Again, that telephone number toll free is 877-817-3422, and they are located in the state of Tennessee. Some other resources that you can actually go to are located online, like maketheconnection.net. I love maketheconnection.net. That is phonetically Mike, Alpha, Kilo, Echo, Tango, Hotel, Echo, Charlie, Oscar, November, Echo, Charlie, Tango, India, Oscar, November.org. That's Make the Connection. And you really deserve to talk to them, because when I say that's a great resource, I'm not holding back. I'm not holding back at all, because they have a ton of resources, videos, audio recordings, individuals who are sharing their own personal story. And be aware that some of these stories are not easy to handle. They're very straightforward and very graphic. So some of these stories are. Not all of them are, but some of them are, and I just ask that you be aware of that when you're looking. Now, other resources that I happen to like are, you can go to recoveryforwomen.co /PTSD-recovery. By the way, every one of these places that I'm mentioning are found on our website underneath resources. You can go to theptsdretreat.org. Phonetically, that's spelled Tango, Hotel, Echo, Romeo. Let me start that over. You can go to our website, which is Tango, Hotel, Echo, Papa, Tango, Sierra, Delta, Romeo, Echo, Tango, Romeo, Echo, Alpha, Tango.org, theptsdretreat.org, and go into our resources, which is under our blog section, and you'll be able to see these lists of resources there. So I'm going to quickly, instead of doing all of these spellings, which takes a lot of time, because you can actually find this on the webpage, I'm just going to go ahead and list these off. recoveryforwomen.co /PTSD-recovery. military1source.mil, saveawarrior.org, hopeforptsdvets.org. Now, I happen to know the founder of hopeforptsdvets.org. Again, that is a military oriented organization that's built by and founded by a veteran for veterans. You got justiceforvets.org. Again, maketheconnection.net. vetsprevail.com. Now, about vetsprevail.com, this is an excellent resource for individuals who are looking for treatment online. And Vets Prevail does offer CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy, online. It is a very unique platform for doing it because, one, it is completely online, and you can do it 24/7, 365 in the comfort of your own home. And they do offer resources to you for counselors outside of your home, within your local environment, or they'll work with you online. And what's really nice is that they have a peer-to-peer network, which is right online, right on Vets Prevail. So you're actually talking to other veterans who have been dealing with post-traumatic stress and have deployed and have their combat badge. Another one is pause-rep.com. Pause-rep is a new tool, new resource. They are all about creating peer-to-peer support networks, battle buddies, so to speak, which, by the way, that's another one, the Battle Buddy Foundation, which is all about giving buddies to individuals that are other veterans as well. But PausRep will link you up with another buddy within your local area. No matter where you are, they will find a buddy for you. Then there's talkingtominds.co.uk. Talking to Minds is a British site. We have a lot of UK veterans that are on here that are allies to the United States, and they have not felt they have enough resources within their own country, and they felt, a lot of them feel like their country has turned their back on them. And I just want you guys to know that there are other veterans from your country that are also working to make a difference for you there. And I will be reaching out to Talking to Minds to see if we can get them on the radio here, because there's also, we have so many allies everywhere, and Talking to Minds doesn't just serve the Brits, it also serves our American forces over there in the UK. But it's an excellent site, and it's done by another veteran himself, who was formerly a member of 22 SAS. So this guy's been there, done that, and he's continuing to serve in the realm of working with veterans that are dealing with PTSD. And so I highly suggest to anyone needing some assistance with PTSD, you can go to Talking to Minds. And Talking to Minds is the number 2 is the number. So talkingtominds.co.uk. Another one is fightingptsd.org. If you guys recall, I did have the founder of that organization on here. Melissa was amazing. She has a wonderful dog named Chauncey, and she is dedicated. She's a veteran herself, and she is dedicated to making a difference in the world of PTSD. And she is fantastic and totally dedicated to fighting PTSD. Hence the title of her page. So fightingptsd.org. Another one is caninesforwarriors.org. The 9 is a number, so caninesforwarriors.org. They are dedicated to getting individuals that are suffering with PTSD, service animals, and there is another wonderful organization based out of California called Alpha Canines that do the same thing. Alpha Canines is Alpha K, the number 9, s.org. So, and then there's Veterans Airlift. Now, veteransairlift.org, this is an incredible organization. If you have had an injury, whether it be invisible or otherwise, amputee, or if you're going for medical treatments or, another compassion related trip somewhere, and you need air transportation, contact veteransairlift.org. It is a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to making sure veterans get where they need to go, along with their families. So please go to veteransairlift.org. So these are some places that you can actually see. Oh, I've got one more, wags4warriors.org. It's another canine related website, Wags for Warriors, and 4 is the number 4. So wags4warriors.org. So, and again, there's always the PTSDretreat.org. But then again, you guys already know that because you guys are here and listening. These again were lists of websites that you can actually go to. There are also PTSD pages on Facebook. Let me check on how much time I've got. Okay, I've got 10 minutes. PTSD related Facebook pages. There are a bunch of them. Some of the ones off the top of my head is Military Minds. You got Pete the PTSD Penguin, Warrior Awareness Writer, Low Life Brotherhood. Those guys are motorcycle organizations which are run by veterans or with veterans involved, and they are dedicated to supporting our veterans who are struggling with PTSD. You've got, I mentioned Military Minds. There's also Seals of Honor, excuse me. Not necessarily dedicated to PTSD, but they do have a plethora of resources for individuals dealing with grief. So talk to Seals of Honor, and they also do their best to make sure individuals who lose their life are remembered for their services. So I do suggest that one. But back to pages with information on PTSD on Facebook. So you got Military with PTSD. That is a site that is a page that's done by some veterans, for veterans. Again, very much a military-oriented site. You've got Veterans PTSD Project. That's another one. And then there's the Veteran Stress Project, by the way. Veteran Stress Project, they use EFT to treat veterans with their symptoms of PTSD. And veterans are saying that those symptoms are gone, as in never to return. It's the only resource besides RRT, which is rapid reduction techniques. EFT and RRT are the only two I've heard that actually remove symptoms permanently out of all the different treatment methods that are out there, both alternative and evidence-based. But I suggest that you go to Veteran Stress Project for them, and they do give 6 free sessions for individuals that are willing to give anonymous feedback following the sessions. Another Facebook page is Soldiers Need a Fighting Chance After They Serve PTSD. Yeah, it's a long one. So let me repeat that. Soldiers need a fighting chance after they serve PTSD. So there's one for you. There's also PTSD Awareness and PTSD Support Arkansas, Surviving Mental Health, Heal My PTSD. Now, Heal My PTSD is by Michelle Rosenthal, and that is not a military-oriented site or page or site. Heal My PTSD, you can also go to her, healmyptsd.org. She does have a radio show as well, and she's the author of many books. I love Michelle. If you ever get a chance to listen to her speak, I guarantee you, or just talk to her, you will be blown away by her bubbling personality. She is a wonderful person to talk to, and I just smile every time I hear her voice. She just makes me crack up, and I will be on her radio show. I gotta remember when. But wonderful person, and it'll be a pleasure to talk with her again. But Heal My PTSD is a Facebook page. Also, she has a website. PTSD Wives, you can also go to Spouse Buzz. Both of those sites are there for spouses that are struggling with individuals with PTSD or just dealing with military. There's also Soldiers and Saviors, also Legacy of Love. There's also the page PTSD.org. Another page is Serving Our Service Members. Then here's another long one, folks. Increasing PTSD treatment engagement among OEF and OIF veterans. I'll repeat that one because it's long. Increasing PTSD treatment engagement among OEF and OIF veterans. That's another page dealing with PTSD. And I really don't know much about that one. That was actually referred to me. And then there is Teach Me About PTSD. And of course, there is the PTSD Retreat. So those are a bunch of pages for you. I still got more, excuse me. There's Traumatic Stress Studies. Then there's Uncle Sam's Mistress. I don't know anything about that one, so if you guys can give me feedback on that, I appreciate it. Fearless Nation PTSD Recovery. Again, that's Fearless Nation PTSD Recovery. And then there's Families After Trauma Foundation. Let me repeat that. Families After Trauma Foundation. And 3 more are Life After Combat, Battling Bear, and Our Hidden Wounds. And again, there's also the PTSD Retreat. So if Facebook is the place that you like going, you can actually go there, and there is a lot of support. Now, the really cool thing about Facebook is that there's a lot of peer-to-peer support, but I will remind you, it is a very open resource. Whatever you put on there is and will be accessed by not only our country, but other wonderful individuals in foreign countries who speak foreign languages, that like Chinese or Pakistan. There's all sorts of places that can access this. And so please be aware of what you're putting on there. It is very unsecure. It is very open. And no matter what privacy you put on there, it can be accessed by someone with a little bit of skill. And it does not take a lot of skill. So please be very careful and sensitive about what things you put out there. Don't put information about, how many people were with you when you deployed. Don't put anything about the location. Just be very sensitive. Don't talk about weapons. Don't talk about how somebody died or what sucks. Don't talk about armaments. Don't talk about any of these things, because remember, this is an open resource. Anyone, anywhere can access it with just a teeny bit of skill, no matter how much security you place on your page. So be very aware of that. All right, so those are your Facebook pages, and let's talk about books. Now, there are quite a few books on PTSD. So, let me go to online self-evaluation screenings. This is important. There are many individuals that have PTSD and they don't really know what to do or where to go. So quickly, in the last few minutes, I'm going to actually talk about these different places that you can go. I'm going to suggest that you actually go to the ptsdretreat.org, our webpage, because this list is pretty comprehensive. But I will tell you about it. But let me give you the title of the article that I put on our webpage. It's called Online Self-Evaluation Screenings for PTSD. Again, that is Online Self-Evaluation Screenings for PTSD. And you will find that underneath resources, under their treatments. So I have on here 5 different places that I happen to these are 5 locations that I have tested out myself and looked at, and I happen to find these to be the best of all the different ones that are online. The first one I've listed is by Michigan State University in an effort to better assist its students. And they do have a question on there of whether or not, if you are a student, just leave it unanswered and you can actually continue. So I'm going to read off the website, but again, remember, you can go back to to our website, theptsdretreat.org, to actually get it. So I'm not going to read it phonetically. So you can go to their website, which is www.counseling.msu.edu/resource/PTSD-post-stress-order-line-self-assessment. Again, you can go to the ptsdretreat.org webpage for this, so you can just click the hyperlink. The second place that I would recommend is Horowitz Impact of Event Scale. Don't ask me to repeat that because that was a pain in the butt the first time. Or IES. It's another one that can actually be done on your own. You go to www.remap.net/measuring _the impact of event.html. A third one that you can do, which is done anonymously, is Military Mental Health Screening Program. This is done anonymously, but because it is military, just be aware, do it from a public computer. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so www.militarymentalhealth.org. So www.militarymentalhealth.org. Now, this fourth one is my favorite. And it's my favorite because it's very thorough. At the beginning, just pick a school. It doesn't matter what it is as long as it's on their list, and then get started. Now, be aware it does take about 5 to 10 minutes to complete, but not only will they give you what you may be dealing with, but they'll also explain the results as well. So, and it's excellent. Let's say you may have PTSD. They will give you a comprehensive review of PTSD and recommend things to you. So it is an excellent site. This is www.u, as in the letter, lifeline.org/self_evaluator. Again, that is www.lifeline.org/self_evaluator. One more time, that's www.ulifeline.org/self_evaluator. And I'm going to say again, I absolutely love that self-evaluation screening for PTSD. And my final one that I'm listing is the State Trait Anxiety Inventory for Adults. Now, this one you pay the big bucks for, but it is worth it if you really want an answer to your question. It is used by providers, and you can do it, but I suggest you go to a provider who can actually assist you with it because you'll appreciate it afterward having a mental health professional at your side to explain the results. And they do have this test for children as well. And you can go to www.mindgarden.com/products/Sierra Tango Alpha India Sierra Alpha Delta.htm. And again, that's a great website that you can actually go and get the State Trait Anxiety Inventory for Adults. So, in the last 3 minutes, let me go ahead and remind you guys, please do not replace seeing this. None of these replace seeing a doctor for an official diagnosis about your PTSD. And no matter what you do, PTSD deserves to be treated as soon as possible. It can get worse, it can morph or change. Please get assistance with it. Also, if you're taking this for a loved one, do not run up to them and pull an "I told you so" attitude and tell them they have PTSD. If you want to end your relationship, that is a perfect way to do it. Instead, I ask you to just use these to learn more about PTSD. And if you want to encourage them to take the test or you think they may have it, just kindly let them know. Write it down and just pass it over to them. Hey, I found this, thought you might like to know about it. Do so in the most non-confrontational way possible. Again, if you go up to them and say, "I told you so," that is a surefire way to end your relationship as you know it, and it will get them to stop talking to you. When it comes to individuals with PTSD, trust is a major factor, and that sort of a reaction or response is a great way to get it ended. So, I hope these resources help you. If you'd like to know more resources, there's a lot more on the PTSD Retreat page. The PTSD Retreat page, not the Retreat. Let me start that over. theptsdretreat.org. So thank you so much for listening. This has been Nicole Johnson Starr with the PTSD Retreat Radio Talk Show. Have a good night, everybody.